Hey guys, Fifth Leaf here, coming at you with a second video in one day. Super excited. As most of you know, we are taking part in a VGC draft league. Now, this is much like a fantasy league, like fantasy basketball, fantasy football, where instead of you're drafting players, you're drafting Pokemon. Now, every Pokemon in the draft is separated based on tiers. Now, as you see here, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Now, on your team, you get one tier 1, two tier 2s, two tier 3s, and like a tier 4 or whatever. And then you get 4 free slots, which cost points to fill. So if you already have a tier 1 and you want to sign a tier 1, you can pay 100 points. Now, we're going to look at a couple things. We're going to look at what team we drafted, like what Pokemon we drafted. We're going to try to put together our team. And we're also going to look at our first round opponent's team and see how we think we're going to fare against it. Now, this is going to be tough because everyone kind of drafted really cool things. But without further ado, let's look at our team. And I know most of you who are watching this were there during the draft, but at least this time now I can provide better description as to why we drafted each Pokemon. So if we go over here to team, we are the Central Mass Clovers. And here's our team. And that's me, that's the logo, you know it. So we drafted Sandaconda G-Max form, Latias, Primarina, Tapu Koko, Gothitelle, Runerigus, Dugtrio, Lapras, Glaceon, Grapploct, and Swablu. Now, I'm pretty sure most people who are familiar with VGC can look at my team and know exactly what we're trying to go for. We are going for Perish Trap. You know that video a few days ago that I posted? We're going for that. It's going to be a different team, kind of, but that's okay. This is a Series 7 version of that team. So as always, though, we have to have the Sandaconda G-Max. His max move locks your targets in so they can't switch out. His item that you can put on him, the Binding Band, that makes those turns longer so they can't switch out for even longer. Latias is helpful for support. Very fast at 110 speed. Special defense and defense make him somewhat bulky with a special attack of 110, meaning even if we can't get Trick Room off, we can still attack and do quite a bit of damage as long as we have like at least a little bit of investment. But for the most part, his set will be supportive. He gets ally switch, he gets screens, and that's going to be a big help to us. We decided to draft Primarina first instead of our normal Gengar here. Because first of all, Primarina's main job, as well as Gengar's, would have been to Perish Song. Now, for those who don't know what Perish Song does, is any Pokemon hearing the song, including my own, faint in 3 turns. So you kind of already see what we're going with here. Laying the Perish Song, and then using like his G-Max move or other abilities that we'll get to in a bit, to hold your opponent's Pokemon in so they can't switch out, so that they faint. Now you might be thinking, well, what about your Pokemon? Your Pokemon are going to die too. No, that's not how that works. So if I have Sandaconda G-Max out and Primarina out, right? And Primarina uses Perish Song, every Pokemon on the field will die in 3 turns, right? Sandaconda G-Max uses his max move. It traps both of my opponent's Pokemon in a vortex so they can't switch out, but my Pokemon still can switch out. So every turn, at the end of the turn, or at the end of the round, there'll be a Perish Song count. It'll be like, this Pokemon is on count 3, count 2, like, etc. You know the deal. So when that goes to the Perish count is 1, I switch out my Pokemon. My opponent can't switch out theirs. Their Pokemon die. Rinse and repeat, right? So that's kind of what Primarina's job is. Primarina's also pretty bulky. Has 116 special defense and 74 defense. The 74 defense is kind of low. We'll have to switch it in against special attackers for the most part. And speed isn't really much to be desired either. Reason we went Primarina over Gengar is because I kind of just wanted to try something new. This may not have been the best time to try something new, because this is a 4 money tournament. So, but either way, I have faith. Pretty bulky, okay attacks, HP stat as well. So, and special attack is really high. So again, even if Perish Trap doesn't work, we can still do damage. with a little bit of investment. Tapu Koko, we wanted him specifically for if we can't get Trick Room going. Not Trick Room, sorry. If we can't get Perish Trap going. He has an insane attack stat. He has insane speed. He's not really that bulky, but he gets the job done, you know? He's also our response to a lot of the flying types that are out right now, like the Tornadus, Landorus, etc. Not Landorus, sorry. Landorus is part ground. Tornadus and Thunderous. He'll be good against them. He also knows fairy moves, so he'll be good against, you know, the big threat of fairies, which actually really isn't much right now. But he doesn't really have a job other than to deal big damage. Also, he's a good trade pick if we need to. Kind of an interesting pick for this kind of team, and it'll kind of throw people off. Now, Gothitelle, I don't know how many people have watched my Perish Trap video, but Gothitelle is a main component in the structure of a Perish Trap team. Incredibly bulky. It doesn't look like it. Its stats are 110 special defense, which is incredible, and 95 defense, which is like slightly above average. Only 70 HP stat though, but you might not believe it, but incredibly bulky. We have access to screens, when we have access to ally switch, and we have obviously access to protect, and you know, all that cool jazz. Now, Gothitelle's main job, other than ally switching, is Shadow Tag. Shadow Tag is an ability in the game, if you don't already know, that your opponent's Pokemon just can't flee from battle. That's it. So you throw her out, your opponent's Pokemon can't switch out. Perfect. So she's kind of made to bulk out the round. With ally switches, the move ally switch switches your Pokemon with your other Pokemon's battle position. So in VGC, you're obviously playing doubles. So say I have Tapu Koko on the right, Gothitelle on the left. If I use ally switch, they switch positions. Easy. Runerigus, we actually drafted Runerigus specifically to go against Trick Room teams. He has a base speed of 30. I was going to breed a 0 speed one, but we might not even bring him for our first battle, and we're actually trading him. We're not trading. We're marking him as a free agent, and we're picking up Gengar in his place, starting on week 2. So our answer to Trick Room is gone, but Trick Room doesn't really worry us. The only time it does is like if my Pokemon are faster than theirs. Actually, no, it kind of helps us out. Anyways, he doesn't matter because we're trading him out. We have Dugtrio here. Dugtrio has a very important ability that works just like Gothitelle's, and that's Arena Trap. Works the same way. But again, if we can't get Perish Trap going, we have a base 120 speed, which is insane. Base 100 attack, which is awesome. We would have to focus sash him if we run him though, which kind of holds a problem for when we get Gengar, because Gengar would normally be our focus sash user, but we can play around with items as time goes. Lapras, very bulky, very bulky. It's base 95 special defense, base 80 defense, which is, you know, around average, but a base 130 HP. So he just tanks hits like a fucking mad lad. His main job is to not only bulk out attacks, but to also stall you from dying. Because, you know, he has, I think his life ring that gives him health. He has dive, which is one turn that your opponent can't hit him. He also sets Perish Song. He is a Perish Song user. So Lapras can take pretty much any attack and then just throw up Song and you're good. Your setup is complete. We pretty much picked up Glaceon for the memes. I don't know how many people watch my Nuzlocke live or have seen the VODs, but we had a pretty strong Glaceon by the name of Anthony in one of our past Nuzlocke runs. And he's also a good answer to a lot of the grass types. Like, he's a very good answer to Rillaboom, because everyone's running Rillaboom obviously offensively with and when he has base 110 defense, he will eat anything a Rillaboom throws. So I'll have to do, if I switch him in against Rillaboom, I'm safe. So that's pretty much all I chose Glaceon for. He also has access to Helping Hand. And Helping Hand is basically going to help us if we have to go damage mode instead of Perish Trap mode. So Perish Trap just increases the damage on your ally Pokemon's move. Grapploct was our last pick of the whole entire draft. Now, we picked up Grapploct because of his move Octolock. This will be very interesting to run because we can run Grapploct when we're running our Perish mode, or if we have to switch over to damage mode. And that's because of Grapploct's like main attack. It's called Octolock. Not only does it trap your opponent's Pokemon from fleeing, but it also decreases that Pokemon's stats, defensive stats, every turn. So that means if we need to switch to damage mode in a pinch, it'll be much easier to kill the opposing team's Pokemon. Swablu. Now there was a little bit of a mix-up with how we got Swablu. The rules were slightly unclear at first, or at least by my knowledge. I probably just didn't read them thoroughly enough. So I tried to. So you have 250 points to fill up 4 free slots, right? Now, I had my first free slot was my Latias, so that was 100 points. I forget who my second one was, but then I went Altaria for my third, right? Now, Altaria being a tier 3 Pokemon was worth 50 points. Now, that maxed me out at my 250 points, but I didn't know that you had to fill all 4 slots, so it was actually an illegal pick. So I decided to actually go with Swablu instead of Altaria, because Swablu is also a Perish Song user. So maybe we can even try to like not only Focus Sash it, but lead like Swablu with Gothitelle. They try to take Swablu out right away, ally switch, so that Swablu switches positions with Gothitelle. That way, either Gothitelle will tank the hit, but also worst case scenario, Gothitelle doesn't tank the hit. Swablu will just eat a Focus Sash up and still get Song up. So that's pretty much our team. Like I said, main point of the team is to set Perish Trap, Perish Song with some sort of trap that keeps your opponent from switching out. Also, a good amount of these Pokemon also learn Mean Look, which is also a move that makes it so your opponent can't escape. So we just have a lot of different modes that we can run with this team. So the only downside to this is everybody knows I'm going Perish Trap. Everybody. As soon as I drafted Gothitelle in the Discord, they were like, oh, he's drafting Perish Trap. So it'll be interesting to see how people try to build their teams around what I'm bringing. Now, let's take a quick look at our first round opponent. We are going against the West Side Weezings. So if we go back to our page over here and we look at West Side Weezings, he's got the Blastoise G-Max, Metagross, Clefable, Darmanitan, Electivire, Goodra, Cottony, Musharna, Spiritomb, Toxapex, and Shuckle. Now, I don't think he's bringing Shuckle. I really don't. But I should prepare for him just in case, because he might end up realizing how good Shuckle can actually be. We're not too worried about Blastoise G-Max. As you see on my team, we have a lot of things that just eat water. Lapras, Glaceon, Tapu, Koko, Primarina, Latias. Like the only things that are really actually like weak to water are Dugtrio, and our Sandaconda G-Max, who's really bulky already. Depending on which mode they go with, whether it's physical or special. But I've seen him eat a lot of like very super effective hits. So we're not too worried about Blastoise, but we should still keep an eye out. Metagross is really the big thing we're worried about on this team. We don't have too many answers to Metagross. Metagross is, if we go to Cerebi, right? Metagross's only like main weaknesses are Fire, which we don't have, Ground, which we do have, Ghost, which we kind of have, and Dark, which we don't. Now, this is Gen 8, right? Yep. All right. The problem with him being weak to all these things is he pretty much always runs weakness policy, and that's something that we have to be prepared for, right? So we don't want to accidentally set off his weakness policy, because that sets my opponent up for the sweep, and we don't want that. We actually run weakness policy Metagross on our main VGC team that you see me using in our Road to Master Ball series. So that's something we got to be aware of. Like, we have a few of the things, like we have the ground, we will have like the ghosts will be set up, but we need to be very cautious of setting off weakness policy if that's what he chooses to run. Clefable we're not too upset about. It can set, you know, screens, it can bulk out hits, but we're not really too worried about it, only because we're not trying to deal damage here. And if we need to, I don't know what we're gonna do. We actually, well, no, that's a lie. We have a couple different ways to run poison moves. So we're not too worried about it. But at the same time, the same thing as Blastoise. We need to keep a keen eye out for it. Darmanitan, very physically offensive, has a very high HP stat. Its defensive stats aren't that great, but if they sash him, then he's getting a free kill easily. Here's our second biggest threat right here, is Electivire. He kills a decent amount of our team. So Electivire kills Primarina, does pretty good damage on Lapras. Actually, that's pretty much it. But and Swablu, because Swablu's normal flying. He's no longer a dragon type. He's not a dragon type yet. So we need to be conscious of Electivire. His team, what I've noticed actually, is very physically offensive, right? Yeah. So we have the 135 here, 140, 123, 100. So we need to set up Reflect. We need Reflect to survive. Because the whole point of our team is to bulk out these hits. So that's something to keep in mind. We need to set up Reflect. Sure, that's fine. That's fine. He actually lives quite a long time, so I'm kind of scared to see if he does anything with this. Toxapex we played against today, off of camera, and we had some trouble with that, so we need to keep an eye out for that. And obviously Shuckle. So all in all, I think his team is definitely going to run us for our money. I think he has a lot of answers to a lot of the things I'm bringing. Like Toxapex being poison water, that could hit us as well. Our main trappers. And if there's anything we don't want to happen, we don't want our trappers to die. That's like key. We can't have our trappers die. So I think what we do, right, is looking at our team. I think we probably bring, I don't know. We could bring any 6. Every week you can choose any 6 out of your 11. So I'm gonna have to put more thought into that. But yeah, honestly, like, as long as we can get up Reflect, I think we're fine. Because if we look at my defense, so he has high defense for physical. He okay, I guess. Not really. That's kind of average. Kind of average. I'm not worried about Gothitelle. Gothitelle's bulky. We probably won't bring him. He's dying. Lapras, if it's Dynamax, could probably survive like a good hit. Glaceon survives everything. Yeah, so we'll be fine. Like I said, I think he's gonna run us for our money. But I think if we go in prepared, I think the dub is possible. So yeah, and then next week I'll probably put out another one of these because we're picking up Gengar. We won't need to go over everything I draft, obviously. what I'll just do is I'll go over if we make any team changes, move changes, EV spread changes, item changes, etc. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace out. If you like the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn that bell on, and I'll see you next time.